Hey, I'm Lex.
And I'm Gibby, and welcome to another episode of Porch Swing People.
Each week we bring on a guest to chat with them about whatever they want to share with us on the pod. Stories from the past, what's going on in their current life, or their hopes or dreams for the future. So now that we've been doing this for a little bit, I thought we could take a few minutes to just kind of explain to our guests a little bit about where we started to where we are in terms of, production, what we're doing, what we've learned, how we are still novices, but it's okay. Gibby, take it away.
There was not a lot of thought process. I mean, we did talk. We kind of had a few plans. We did 3 different rehearsals up to it, and it was a great learning experience. I mean, we were like, okay, well, that worked out. Oh, okay. Lex also put together some do's and don'ts, how to lead into a question more seamlessly than, hey, so number 3 question is. It's really just been teaching us how to communicate and have a conversation that just flows naturally rather than more of an interrogation. And I think we're doing okay.
So, can you tell the listeners a little about our guests?
So, as far as our guest, the bottom line is what we've learned is everybody has a story, and that's what we want to share.
We've had some guests who, when we've reached out to them, they've said, me, I'm boring. I don't have anything to share. And we have pushed back on that and said, that is not true. You definitely have things to share.
Yeah. Well, I think we've been fairly successful.
Yeah, fist bump.
Bump.
If you have been thinking that it would be fun to be a guest on our podcast, please reach out to us. We have a schedule full of blank spots.
Full of blank spots. I want to also say this. Any of my friends, if I have not asked you to be a guest, there is not a reason. If I haven't asked, don't feel slighted or insulted or anything, or I don't think that you're interesting.
We only have 4 episodes a month, and so that's not very many. But you're on our minds. Even if we haven't reached out, you are definitely on our minds. And if you are interested, please reach out and let us know. And we'll get you on the schedule.
Yeah.
I think that's a podcast term. I'm not sure. So we have a great guest today. We're super excited to have her on. Should we talk a little about her?
I don't know anything about her.
Do you know her
I'm
name?
coming in blind. I don't know her name.
Even though
You've told me.
Yes.
You've told me.
And she's on the sketch.
She is on the sketch. I'm gonna go over the sketch when we're done with this episode. But please continue.
We have Chonette, who listeners might remember our guest Dawn from episodes 8 and 9 mentioned as a friend of hers who she just admired and was always inspired by because she is so positive and so grateful for everything. Gibby and I heard about Chonette during the podcast episode, and we thought we need her on the pod. So she was willing to join us, and we are just looking forward to our conversation with her today.
Let's bring Chonette on.
Let's.
Good morning, Chonette.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
How are you?
Great.
Great to see you. Great to meet you. Where do we find you this morning? Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live. Everything.
I am in Alpine, Alabama, which you may have heard of Talladega because of the races. They were on race cars out here.
Uh-huh.
So I'm about 20 minutes, 30 miles from the racetrack.
Do you go to races sometimes?
Not a lot. I used to when I was younger.
That's cool. And how long have you been in Alabama?
I lived here all my life, other than a brief, maybe 10 years when my dad was in the service and we moved around with him. And my last stop was D.C. And I moved to Detroit with my mom. And my mom had cancer cells, so my grandmother came and got me. And I moved back to Alabama.
Wow, what a journey.
And you love Alabama.
I love Alabama. Can you tell in my voice?
I can, and it's lovely. You have
It
a
is
lovely accent.
You
beautiful.
do.
It is.
Yes.
Hey, let me ask you real quick. The Talladega racetrack. How far away are you able to hear when those cars are up and running? You can't
Ooh.
hear them from where you live, right?
No, I can't hear them from where I live. But
Mm,
if I was in maybe a 15-mile radius, you can.
Mm.
yeah.
You can. You can
Wow.
hear it loud. But I'm gonna tell you the best part is going up to anywhere near the Interstate 20 on like a Tuesday, Wednesday night when the trucks are rolling in. Man, that's the best part. I
Oh,
just go out there
really?
and sit in somebody's parking lot. Because you can see all the cars
Yeah, the
coming
big
in.
trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. Jeanette, you have a wonderful community. Tell us about the people in your life.
I have 2 children and 9 grandchildren.
Wow.
And I am an only child with all those little personalities around me.
Are your
Yes.
babies? Are your babies and grandbabies near you?
They're near me, but they're so busy. The oldest one
Mhm.
just turned 17, so he's a senior this year. He was my first, and he was a preemie. He was a pound and 8 ounces. So we real
Oh
proud
Wow.
of him. Yeah, he was little, little.
That's amazing.
And then my youngest is 3.
That sounds like a fun time.
It really is. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chonette, what do you do to keep yourself occupied?
Lots of things. I'm a volunteer firefighter. I don't get to do it as much as I used to. Do a lot of little volunteering stuff. My grandkids all play sports. The girls, they run track. And the boys, one of them play basketball. And the others do football. So it's busy.
Jeanette, can you tell us a little about what it's like being a volunteer firefighter?
The way I got into it is very strange. My son, for some reason, he was like 12 and he kept wanting to do this thing. And I'm like, no, it was strangers. I didn't know those people and I wouldn't let them go by itself. So that's how I got started. And that was like 17 years ago.
So,
And
so let me get this. Your son wanted to be a volunteer firefighter. What? How'd that work?
he did. And I had
Wow.
a and at Walmart, they would give you a donation for volunteering. And so Chris wanted me to do this thing to get the money for the fire department. So that started. And it worked out. And I don't get to go on many calls as much now because my knees are bad. But back when I did it a lot.
Oh, you were
Wow.
getting busy
That's
with it then.
amazing.
Yes.
You know what I love about that is just you being part of the community.
And I try my best to do that.
Chonette, tell us about a meal that was so good that you can remember fondly from your youth or your adulthood.
At my grandmother's house during the summer, any meal she prepared was just wonderful. But my grandmother was the type of person when people would come from out of town, even though she was not prepared and didn't cook yet, she would always be unthawing something and cooking. You could not come through Alabama, stop at my grandmother's house without eating something. That was just her. And she's been dead for a lot of years. And people that used to visit back then, families that would come and visit from out of town, they still stop at my house because of my grandmother.
Wow. What a legacy.
But she had
What?
the
What?
best fried chicken. Man,
Okay,
she
there
could
we
fry
go.
some chicken. She could fry some chicken and cook any kind of bean you wanted. But my favorite
Wow.
is pinto beans.
Mm.
Pinto beans, cornbread with potatoes and onions.
Good gosh, that's some serious comfort food right there.
Seriously, I'm looking at the time. Like, was this was this the right idea to be talking about food this early into the interview when none of us can go get snacks?
I know.
That's such a nice memory to have of your grandmother.
She was a great lady. She was a strong lady. She had been widowed for a long time. I think my mom's dad died when she was maybe 15. And so my grandmother had been widowed a long time. So she was a very strong lady. Even in the community, people just really respected her. If you got in trouble, she was gonna help you figure it out. She was just that kind of person.
Wow, what an amazing person.
Just out of curiosity, did you pick up some of them cooking skills?
Oh, I love to cook. Love to cook. You have to come down to Alabama.
Well, we have
Or
some
maybe
friends
the
down
next
that
time I'm
way.
out to Don's, we can cook and you all meet us halfway.
I would.
That
That
sounds
would be a
awesome.
pleasure.
When Dawn was on the podcast, she said that she had recently been out to Alabama and took you out to dinner. So food is something that you guys like to share.
Yes, we do. We do. We always have a day for us. She gets around to everybody.
Why don't you tell us a little about meeting Dawn? So you guys worked at the same school for a while.
Yes, she was at the school. She was so different. It was like winter and everybody else was cold. And she was walking around with sandals on. And I was like, she is just the honest little teacher. But she was so cool. And we just remained friends.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's so awesome. I love when that happens with people you work with.
And one thing about her, she didn't hold any punches. She was always just as genuine, and that's wonderful. We need
That's
more
why we love
genuine.
her. Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
yes.
Jeanette, can you think of something that you used to be afraid of that you now love?
It ain't a whole lot I'm afraid of.
I mean,
Some
running into burning buildings, you probably are not too afraid of a lot of things.
Yeah,
some things I'm a little standoffish maybe,
sure.
Mm-hmm.
and I try to make myself a little more comfortable with them.
I think that's great. Can you think of any examples?
Uh, I'm kind of standoffish when it comes to people.
Really?
Yes, yes. I normally meet all of my people through somebody else.
That makes sense.
I'm not really a people person, but then after I do that, I'm like, oh, okay, they cool. I can. I,
I think that's smart. I mean, that's a little self-preservation skills.
Yep.
yes, and
Yeah.
by me being an only child, I was always just a little defensive. So,
Yeah, and probably okay, standing by yourself.
right, always, because
Yeah.
that's what I've always had to do.
Yeah. Can you think of a place that you've been before? It could be near home, it could be far from home, that left such an impression on you, it has impacted the way that you live your life.
In Alabama, we had a civil rights district. I wasn't old enough to know anything about that in my time frame, but it always makes me a little loyal
Hmm.
and to want to preserve what we have now because somebody fought for the rights that we have.
Can you tell us more about the district itself and what it includes?
It's beautiful. They have a park where they have monuments and different little trails that you can walk around that's showing you different little exhibits. They have a museum that's called the Birmingham Civil Rights Museum,
Hmm.
and they walk you through different aspects of the story, the bus boycott, and just different things. And then they also have a church. So whenever people visit, I take them there, I take them to Montgomery, and I take them to the vineyard, a local vineyard.
I've never been to Alabama. I mean, I've been to most states, and maybe I drove through it going somewhere else, but I think maybe one day I need to take a trip
Oh yeah, girl, you got
specifically
to
to
come
go there.
visit me. You got to come.
We can have
An
some
open
food and we can go check
invitation.
out the memorials.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We got to go to the winery.
Well, yes, of course. Shania, we were going over our schedule when we were setting our podcast recording date, and you couldn't do the date before this because your community was honoring a local teacher. Can you tell us a little bit
Yes,
about that?
Mr. Richard Eden. He came. He's from Birmingham, Alabama, and he came to Talladega to work, and he stayed. But the school that he was at first was a predominantly black school. Well, it really was all black back then.
Hmm.
And he worked there for years, and he helped to integrate the school that they use now, even for my grandchildren, Winterboro High School. And he's still living. And he's like
Yeah.
one of the last educators from that time. It's some that's a little younger than him that's still living, but he's the oldest.
I mean, it's amazing. I think a lot of people forget how recent the past is, and that
It,
it's really like last weekend. It's not, ancient past.
it is not.
What was that celebration for him like?
It was nice. Nobody had seen him in a little while because he used to get out a lot, and he doesn't get out that much anymore. But it was just good to see him, and I think he enjoyed it. It was unexpected, and you need to give people their flowers while they're living,
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
and that was that opportunity to do that. We took lots of pictures. I also used to drive for the gentleman that integrated Auburn University. He passed a few years ago. Me and one of my friends from high school would drive him around to different events and stuff. So we just kind of got in the habit of that kind of stuff, reaching out to
Yeah.
the elderly.
Wow, that's amazing. I bet they tell you some stories that you wouldn't have heard otherwise.
Yes, yes. And wonder how they made it during that time.
I'm a little bit in awe. I can't imagine the trials of having to stifle yourself or not use your voice, and of course they end up, many voices together. They were able to use their voices.
Sometimes things have to happen in order to shine a light to let us know we have, even though we feel like we have overcame, we haven't arrived yet. So
My
it's
goodness,
okay.
that is a mouthful of words right there.
Chonette, thanks for telling us a little about the memorials and about the teacher. What strength and resilience those people had, and we should take every opportunity we have to lift them up and remember them.
Yes. And we have to teach our children that it wasn't just them that were affected. Without other nationalities, we wouldn't have been able to overcome it at all. That it takes each one of us helping each other in whatever way we can in order to make it.
I agree with what you're saying, that it's going to take everybody. I have two kids, and they're both boys. Even at 4 years old, my son will go and pick books off of his bookshelf to read about Rosa Parks and lots of books from the civil rights movement. And I mean, we talk about fighting for your rights and fighting for the rights of others. I'm just hoping to just raise this little boy who has love for everybody in his hearts and has the energy to fight for everybody.
And don't be discouraged. Right.
We're going to switch gears on you a little bit. We want to hear a little bit about the funny Chonette. So tell us something hilarious that has happened to you here recently, or something that really sticks out in the past.
Getting older, it's a funny thing. I mean, it just comes up on you, because you're looking and you're in your children, you're seeing how you were with your parents. And at times, you were thinking, man, what are they doing? But you never thought they grew old. And so now I'm
Yeah.
looking at these young people looking at me and not realizing that I'm growing older. And
Yes.
sometimes they have to remind them, and they be like, they're in awe, like, nah, mama, you ain't old, you ain't this, you ain't that. Yes, I am. And I got the evidence to prove it.
Chonette, you and I are the same age, I believe. And
Really?
yes, and every time I go get up in the morning, I'm like, who is that looking back at me?
Right. I know. Do you remember when you could conquer the world?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Now,
And now
it's
you
at
want
9
to slow
o'clock.
down and watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 9 o'clock rolls around, I got to get to bed.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you.
Oh, that's so funny.
And what's really funny about it is because when they're telling it to you, you can hear yourself thinking about the same thing you said to your mama, but they don't
Yep.
get it. And then you realize, I didn't get it either.
Oh, it's so funny because we will all get it, but at very different parts in
Right,
time.
right.
There's this one thing I see on the internet that rolls around sometimes about early parenthood, which is the phase of life that I'm in, and it's kind of the same sentiment about like when you were a kid and you looked at your parents and you thought they had it all together, and now
Yeah,
you're the parent and you realize that they didn't have life together. They were still trying to figure things out, just like I am, just like my friends and I are. It's just funny to see things from different perspectives throughout your lifetime.
yes, it is. And I used to tell my kids, I said, it's okay. I said, because one day you will become your parent. And I said, all that little stuff that you're doing, you're going to see it again. I said, and your children are the best of you and the worst of you. I said, and they don't mind showing it. Because each generation just get bolder and bolder.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
Yeah, we call it controlled chaos.
Yes, yes. I want to ask him,
Sure.
how do you see yourself and your daughter?
Oh.
How do I see myself? Well, there's a
Yeah.
few things. One is she's far more analytical and she's far brighter, smarter than I am. She is stubborn as they come. And
Are you
I
stubborn?
think
Are you saying
no,
you're stubborn?
I was going to say that's
No.
for my grandmother, but
Okay.
yeah. But I do see some similarities. We like the
Yeah.
outdoors. We have a very interesting sense of humor that a lot of people don't catch right away or understand. And we
Right.
take, and we're both very creative.
Sometimes it's just good to look back and see that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I really appreciate that, what you're saying about aging and then seeing yourself, um, or seeing your parents and you, and just the timeline of life in general. But you're still young. You still have so much life. Tell us about a
Yes.
dream or a goal that you are currently working towards.
One thing is one of my things I want to give back. I haven't figured out how to do it yet. But in my city, when people go to jail and they get out, they just let them out. They just walking in the street. I don't like that.
Uh-huh.
So one day, I want to figure out a way to have where you can contact somebody, they can give them a ride to a bus station, get them a ticket, get them home.
I think that's an amazing dream.
That I've been thinking on that for some years. I ain't figured it out yet,
I
but
bet you
it's one of
will.
those things.
Uh,
It's one of those things I want. I want hard.
that does not sound like a big ask either.
And
No, it
it
doesn't.
doesn't. It's just trying to get the people because you got to have some help with it.
You got to
You
have help.
got to figure out how to get the number. Like who they can call. Because a lot of times we don't really have taxis and stuff. We have them, but I don't think we have a one.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a small place. We
Hmm.
don't have Ubers.
Right.
We have Talladega College, which has a lot of students, brings a lot of students to the city, and then we have the race, and that's it. So around race time, that's when a lot of people get arrested, because that's
Okay.
when we have a lot of people visiting from out of town, and then just little locals from local cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about. I don't care if it's raining or whatever. When it's time for you to go, they put you out, and I'm like, oh my God, when I see them out there, I'm like, I don't like that, and I said, Lord,
Yeah.
I want to one day be able to do something about that.
Well, I hope
Shania,
that
you're
our
just the
listeners are
best.
hearing this, yes, and helps you figure out how to fix
Yeah,
that.
I
Help you
really want
achieve your
to.
goal.
But like you're saying, Chonette, that's not, that's a great goal, but not a one woman's mission. You need to have
Right.
resources and people behind you with that.
Yeah.
Backing, yeah.
Got to have a plan. And I just haven't sit down and figured out the plan to present it yet.
Hmm. I believe in you, even though I don't even know you, but I believe in you and I believe that you can do it.
I pray that it happens. When it does, I'm going to call y'all back.
That would be so lovely.
Yes, it's
Yes.
going to happen. It's got to happen.
It needs
It got
to.
to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, have you said it out loud before, this goal?
I have, but not to anyone that wasn't family other than you all.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
there you go.
So it's
What,
starting.
what's a privilege?
This is pushing it forward into the
Yes.
universe.
So it's in the atmosphere now.
Yeah.
Something
Yep.
got to happen. So when y'all come to Alabama,
When are we?
Well, I'm I'm
bring everybody.
I'm thinking it's either got to be the spring or the fall because
Okay.
it is hot there.
Woo, baby,
It's
I'm
gonna be
glad
there in
somebody
summer.
told
That
me that.
humidity.
You know what, Chonette? We will put it on our list to visit one day, and we will. When we do, you'll be the first person that we reach out to.
All righty. Looking forward to it.
Hey, so tell us something. What is something your past self would feel proud of you about in your current self?
That even though I wasted a lot of time in life, I spent it well with my parents, with my grandparents, because nowadays children don't get that opportunity, and they don't value it. They don't know that life is really a vapor,
Hmm.
and you don't have to live long.
No.
Everybody is not promised that.
Yeah.
So it's up to the people that want that time and that memory to continue to try to reach them where they are.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't want to go where people are, but we got to reach them where they are. Yes. And sometimes it won't be family. And don't get discouraged because family is not always blood.
No, you are absolutely right. I have a very large extended family. I am blessed with a lot of good friends.
And that's a wonderful thing. Cherish that.
I do. I think of it often.
Chonette, you're so lovely. Thank you for agreeing to be on our podcast with us, and thank you for overcoming the hurdles of scheduling and technology and all the pieces that come with that. I'm so glad that this worked out and that you were willing to spend some time with us this morning.
I enjoyed it. It was wonderful and nice meeting you all.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
pleasure meeting you. How do you think it went?
It was great. It was nothing that I thought of. Baby, when the camera came on, though, I'm telling you, I like the lost. I said, wait a minute, the camera.
This is not how it's supposed to go. We're only recording audio, so don't worry at all about that. But we do
Yep.
hear that a lot, that guests are like, they don't know what to expect, so it's a little bit scary. And then afterwards, they're like, no, this was so low key.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Thank
day.
you. You all too.
All right. Well, that was completely unexpected on my part.
Why?
Well, I think maybe I had mentioned I didn't know that the connection was Dawn. Mm-hmm. So
Even
for
though,
lis-
even
yes,
though,
even though you've told me,
yes.
that was actually part of the fun of the surprise of who we were talking to. Listeners, we did not know Chonette from we had no idea who she was, and it was such a great time talking with somebody, a complete stranger.
Yeah. I know it is fun. And I don't remember if we said this while we were recording or not, but it was just so easy to chat with her. It seemed like we already knew her. And we said that to her, and she said, well, it seems like I already know you guys, so that's weird. And we're like, that's just our radio persona. Thank you.
Dawn, out of all the people that she knows, Chonette is one of the people that she called out and said, "You guys need to talk to this lady."
Well, specifically, the question was, tell us about something that you learned from another person. And
Yep.
she said, my friend, Chonette, is the most appreciative person. She has gratitude for everything. She is so positive and inspiring, and I don't know where that comes from, but she just has it. And then I reached out to Dawn afterwards, and I said, hey, this friend Chonette, do you think that she would be willing to be a guest on our podcast? And she asked her, and Chonette said yes.
Yes.
And I can't believe that she did. I mean, saying yes to this opportunity. Who are these people? What is this? Why am I on? She did say she was a little bit nervous, but she was willing to do it anyway. That's so cool.
Her thought process specifically on her now being the parent, grandparent, and the children, the grandchildren, take advantage of the time that you have with those folks as they're growing older. Tomorrow isn't promised.
Yeah, it was definitely a great conversation on just the way that we can view time in our lifetime. I appreciated her bringing up the things that Alabama has to offer, especially in terms of the civil rights memorials. I gotta admit, I have never had any plans to visit Alabama, but I could definitely see my wife and I bringing the kids there someday to visit the memorials and monuments that they have.
I would be in too, because she also said there's wine. Actually, I would just like to go hang out with her. She before and after, and there is a before and after we start recording. I wish that the listeners could have heard a lot of that, because it will be a blast if we ever get the opportunity to have a sit or a dinner or some other with Chonette.
I love how midway through the episode she's like, so when you come in to visit, bring everybody.
Everybody.
We will eat. Yeah. Okay, you know what I wanted to hear more about? I bet you could guess. Her volunteer firefighter work.
Oh, yeah.
How cool.
Very cool. And I think she obviously is a volunteer or a person of service at her church as well.
I do think that the conversation lended itself to her life of service.
Yeah.
She said that she worked at Walmart for 24 years and she works in the school system in the front office. All of that is service for others. Mm-hmm. And then when we said, what is your goal that you have? And she said, well, I have a goal of helping others. And then she launched into her idea for, helping people when they are released from the local jail. But before she said that, when she said, I have a goal of helping others, I was like, what are you talking about? You've been doing that your entire life, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
This is a story that she told us before we started recording, when I said, hey, so you want us to call you Chonette? I know your first name is Stephanie. And she said, everybody calls me Chonette. And the reason why is... You want to tell the story, Gibby?
The reason is, when she lived in Detroit as a child in school, there were 6 Stephanies in her class. And they asked for volunteers of who would like to be called something else. And Chonette rose her hand and said, I'm a Chonette.
I'm a Chonette. I know somebody that I used to work with whose name was Megan. And then when she started working in the school system, she decided to rebrand herself to Meg. Because she's like, why not? I have this opportunity to change who I am.
Try it out.
So people just know her as Meg. It just kind of blows your mind, because Meg and Megan are different people,
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw this video on Instagram a while ago that was like fun nicknames instead of, the classic nicknames. Yeah. It was something along the lines of, instead of Chris for Christopher, it would be like Toph. For the Christopher, the Toph in the middle, T-O-P-H.
Yeah.
So it would be taking like the most random parts of your name and turning it into a nickname.
I'm going to do it to Chris, my boss, on Monday. I'm going to say Toph.
There was one thing Chonette said off of the recording, which was that when you think about our country's history, we were talking about it in terms of the civil rights movement, but we could go back to the nation's origins all the way to the present. She said, don't be discouraged. Keep moving forward, keep fighting for others, but don't get discouraged about any of it. And I think that is just a testament to who she is as a person of strength and resilience.
Perseverance and resilience. Shall we close out?
Yes, that was another episode of Porch Swing People. You can find our episodes on Spotify, and we are also on Instagram and Facebook, where we post pictures from our guests as well as music selections and just generally interact with our community. So find us there.
And if you want to email us, listen to the very end, right before the music. And it tells you an email address.
Email us.
Email us to be a guest.
Please do. We would love it.
Porch Swing
Porch
people.
and people, out.
I was going to say it.
You always say it.
All right, you say it.
No, let's both say it.
No, we can't do anything at the same time.
We can.
Okay, ready?
Go.
Porch Swing
Porch and
people.
people.
Porch Swing people.
Porch Swing. You're trying to mess it up on purpose.
I won't. Ready?
Slow down.
Okay.
Porch
Swing people.
Not that slow.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Porch Swing
Porch Swing people,
Out.
out.
Not even
Nah.
close.
All right.
Porch Swing People is recorded and produced by Lex and Gibby. Opening music was written and produced by Michael Gibson. Porch Swing People is a podcast featuring everyday people. If interested in being a guest, email us at porchswingpeeps@gmail.com.